Yes.
Right now, we are super excited to have a guest on Skype with us via audio. We have Brian Clevinger. Did I say that correctly?
Yes, you did.
Awesome!
Yay!
I actually said it right. He is the creator of AtomicRobo, which my brother is obsessed with, and one of the people behind Red 5's comics. So welcome to the show, Brian.
Thanks for having me on
I know
board.
you can't see it, but everyone out there behind the cameras are cheering you on because they're all huge fans of Red 5, what you guys do.
Yay.
So when we bring on guests, we kind of like to break the ice warm up with the gauntlet of 5 questions. So here we go. First thing that comes to your mind at the end. Who is your favorite famous robot?
Robbie the Robot.
Nice.
Can you
Who?
not
Oh,
read your
yes,
handwriting?
yes. If you could be any character in AtomicRobo outside of AtomicRobo himself, who would you be?
That's a good one. Somebody just talked to me about Jack Tarros. I'm going to go with that.
So you'd pick Jack Tarros?
Yeah. He's
Nice.
a pulp adventure guy, so that's a lot of fun.
If you could pit AtomicRobo against any major comic book hero, who would you want to see him fight?
Ooh. Somebody can beat up.
I'm pretty sure you beat up pretty much any of them.
Fight.
Except Aquaman, because Aquaman's just awesome.
I am pro Aquaman.
I like him better already. So who? Just anybody he could beat up? Wolverine, maybe?
Yeah, let's say Wolverine. That's fun.
All right.
I'd like to
Epic
see somebody
team up.
duct tape Batman to a chair and just like make him watch happy movies.
AtomicRobo versus Batman. Just make him watch a movie. That'd be hilarious.
We're watching My Little Pony because clearly you have some friendship issues, Batman.
All right. Epic team up. AtomicRobo and who?
Power Man.
Nice. I wouldn't have gone that way.
Interesting choice.
I was thinking Mega Man, honestly, when I wrote this question. All right. Last question. Tell us one thing that nobody knows about AtomicRobo.
Crud.
That's it. The whole comic is covered in crud.
Yeah. Well, no, you figure that out if you read it. Jeez, what?
So
I
no,
can't
there's
do-
no secrets behind AtomicRobo?
Well,
Like-
there are secrets, but there are spoilers of upcoming storylines, so too bad.
All right, so now we know what to look forward to. So welcome to Fanservice, Brian. So really quick, for people who don't know, in a nutshell, what is AtomicRobo?
Okay, you take the Ghostbusters, Indiana Jones, Buckaroo Banzai, and the Rocketeer. Cram all those guys into a robot. Boom, that's AtomicRobo.
You don't have Roofer Doctor Who in there?
No.
He's all no.
I'm glad I didn't wear my Doctor Who dress today. So before you cram them in, do you put them into a blender for liquefaction purposes?
No, you wanted to be uncomfortable. What are you talking?
Yeah, you just jam
Put
them
all their
in.
brains in there and just like hook up electrodes?
Could be, could be. So where did the idea for AtomicRobo come from?
Basically, Scott and I are big fans of history and sci-fi and alternate history and weird history. And we just wanted to have an excuse to play with all that stuff, and we figured a robot would allow us to do that because, you don't have to waste time explaining where he got his powers or why does he live for 100 years. You see the robot, on the page, and you instantly know this guy's tough, and he's not going to die, and let's have some fun.
Well, he
I
is
like
short.
that.
He's like the height of Chris-Rachael, though,
come
so you can't be
on.
too tough when you're 5 foot nothing.
If it was
Well,
good enough for a
he's-
Roman centurion, it's good enough for me.
Yeah, he's stocky. He's compact.
He's stocky. So
What you're saying is I'm secretly a robot.
that would explain a lot right there. You had a question about.
He's just looking at my note cards here.
No,
like,
no, no,
it's
because-
time for her to talk.
No, you had something interesting. Oh, about starting online.
Yeah, so basically, you guys started online and then decided to do some print comics as well, and then went back online with Comicology. Do you feel like having started online to begin with gave you a sort of an advantage over, basically in the new world of comics?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. You cannot beat the exposure that you can get online. It reduces the barrier of entry merely to discovery. You might hear of something cool, but you'll be resistant about it because you don't want to spend the $20 or whatever. You need to be really convinced, but if it's just there online, nothing's stopping you.
I love, by the way, that particular method. Girl Genius, for example, I keep up with it online, and then every time Fulfoglio has a new volume out, I'm one of the first people to go buy the print edition, because there's a huge difference between seeing a page of something online, like the story, and then being able to sit down and really appreciate the art when you're holding the physical thing and get just see the whole page at once.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And some people just like to, they want the artifact. They want to own, the story. in a way that you feel like you don't online. Online, you can
also a
still
good way to
experience it,
support
but
the
it's not really
the creators.
yours in the same way.
So why did you choose to jump back to digital with Comicology instead of doing something on your own? Because you kind of started it on your own, then you went to like a major company.
That's just it's just how we did it. Comixology seemed like a really interesting technology and platform to get on board, and so that's what we did.
Didn't somebody just buy Comicology? Was it like Borders or
yeah,
Amazon?
I think they merged or were bought by Amazon.
Yeah, I knew
But it
someone
hasn't
big
changed
just
the
bought them.
company at all. It's still all
Because
the
it's a
same
great
top
technology and a
people.
great idea, and from what I understand, Amazon's going to do some things that relevant to my interests as well, like trying to use the same technology they're using for that for things like cookbooks or anything, or children's picture books or anything else. Like Comicology just did a good job developing that particular way of looking at text, in my opinion.
Yeah, so now you'll be able to get it on the Kindle a lot easier instead of, pirating and bootlegging things.
Are you implying that you would ever not purchase a Red 5 comic? That you would borrow it from the internet,
No,
sir?
we actually have most of them in e-format, so, we're pretty good with that stuff. I had a question on the tip of my tongue. What was it?
Was it about borrowing things from the internet?
No, it was about, so I want to talk about the characters in AtomicRobo. This is what it was because I couldn't get Dr. Dinosaur out of my mouth. Okay, you've got some of the most interesting characters to ever actually show up in a comic book, like Dr. Dinosaur and these weird, fun things he does. How did you guys start coming up with these ideas? Like, hey, we wanted to do a time-traveling dinosaur and fight vampires, and how do you kind of avoid the similarities like I made to Hellboy?
Well, it's funny because all this stuff just feels like it's a natural extension of the basic premise. Like it just, more or less, we just discovered it more than it made it up ourselves, if that makes any sense.
So it wasn't one of those situations where you got really drunk at a bar and you said, hey, let's do a time-traveling raptor.
No, it was Dr. Dinosaur owes his original, idea to an old game of Rifts. You guys remember that? Role-playing games? Like D&D, but this was like a really even nerdier one.
I'm pretty sure some people behind the camera are like, yeah, we do role-playing games, but
Did
no.
you say GURPS or Ribs?
Rifts.
Rifts?
R-I-F-T-S.
Oh,
Okay, yes, I have heard of
okay.
Rifts.
I was hearing Ribs and was like,
Here's the
missed
game.
out
It's
on
like
that one.
it's a role-playing game of Operation.
Yeah, there you go.
I roll a d20 to remove that rib. Oh, no. Okay. That's an interesting way to put it. Now, the other thing is you guys have made quite a name for yourselves. Has any major comic book company like Marvel or DC came to you and said, hey, we want you to kind of create something for us?
No.
And if they did, would you actually want to do it?
Yeah, I don't know. It depends. With Robo, we already have the opportunity to do whatever it is we want. So I really don't know the answer to that question. We've both been approached by Marvel and DC to do freelance stuff. Just, hey, we have this story. Do you want to write it, or do you want to draw it, or whatever? And we say yes or no just based on our existing schedule. So I really don't know what I would do with total freedom.
Well, Marvel and DC aren't exactly known for giving total freedom to.
Yeah, no, they're like,
Yes.
hey, we want you to do this, but you got to do it our way. Like, you couldn't have some of the crazy stuff you're
Yeah.
probably used to.
So-
It's kind of like when Nickelodeon got John and Vasquez do Invader Zim. You know what you're getting into, but you could just kill it too early. It's one of those type of situations.
So, what sort of advice would you give for other comic creators out there? Because there's a wonderful indie comic scene here in Austin, and we just had Staple Expo
Yeah.
recently, for example. But a lot of people are looking just at print, and I don't think enough of them are looking at the wonderful opportunities you have if you start online.
Yeah, I don't see any reason to start with print. It is really difficult to get the ball rolling there. You
Not to
should
mention
absolutely
costs.
start online and just see where it takes you.
Are there any particular resources that you think that new comic artists should be looking at if they're going to start something online?
WordPress is a great way to get a website going if you're not all that technical. Comixology is just nice to be on.
Yeah.
Um,
And I think those are the two big ones.
Yeah, I can't really. I know that all the comics are now starting to go more in the digital format.
Oh, yeah.
And like you guys, I'm perfectly fine with just the digital format. I don't have to have the book or the paper
He
simply
makes
because.
fun of me all the time over this because I like to read my anthologies and trade paperbacks in the bathtub because it's just relaxing.
Who reads papers in a bathtub? It
Tons
makes no
of
sense.
people. It is a thing.
You can't splash around. It's gonna get your paper and ruin it.
What do you do in a bathtub that you're splashing around that
What do
much?
you do that you don't?
She's reading.
Serious.
Anyway, reading is a normal thing that people do when submerged in water. Readers, viewers in this particular case, please write in the comments and let him know this.
So, looking back at the history of AtomicRobo, I mean, he's come quite a far way. Did you ever expect it would get like this?
No, we knew we liked it, and we had no idea if there would be a second volume.
Oh, wow.
We were just like, please, we hope people buy it.
So, what do you
And-
attribute the fact that people really latch on to this idea?
I
Because
don't know. I
5'4"
think
was
when-
good
when-
enough for a Roman centurion. It's good enough for a robot.
I think when we debuted, it was 2006, 2007, and comics was in this sort of period of in the post Warren Ellis age, trying to get a little too serious.
Yeah.
And I love Warren Ellis's work, but there was a lot of people kind of aping it. And we just said, hey, let's just have some fun in these comics, see what happens.
Let's go back to laughing and having fun.
Well, this is something
Yeah.
that I actually love. I've complained about this with comics plenty of times, that these days they're grim with a side of more grim for the sake of being grim. And that's fine as a protest against the whole, yeah, but we've done it. We've done it for
Yeah.
years at this point. Can we
Exactly.
have a sense of humor again, please? Anything other than Deadpool? Not that I have anything against Deadpool, listeners, but, come on.
Yeah, it's as a guy who writes some adventure comedy, it's really frustrating that comedy has to be in a situation like Deadpool. And again, I also enjoy Deadpool, but it's sort of like it's afraid to be fun, so you have to kind
Yeah.
of shunt it in this super hyper Warner Brothers Looney Tunes style.
Mm-hmm.
And like that makes it safe to be fun. Let's just have a good time. And I have to say, overall, I feel like Marvel's doing a very good job of embracing both serious and occasionally grim stories, but also having a lot of fun with their stories as well.
Now, storytelling in general right now has been accused of not having much of a sense of humor, as more of a post 9/11 thing. What do you think it would take to bring more of a sense of humor, because you guys have a beautiful one with your work, into more storytelling?
I think it's just a pendulum, and it will just naturally swing back. I don't know if you need any specific thing. We like to be part of that momentum that's bringing back, fun and humor. But I think just naturally it'll swing back.
It's the great circle of life. Everything
is.
revolves back around.
Now, something else that I was wondering, because we do have a ton of pen and paper role play game fanatics in here. Might you guys have any plans in the future for?
Why, yes, we do. Excellent product placement.
Oh, nice. What do you have planned?
In June, the AtomicRobo role-playing game will debut from
They're
Evil
already
Hat.
cheering.
Yeah.
They're already cheering.
We need to get a copy of this because we will play this and review it, yes.
In fact, you can currently pre-order it and get yourself the PDF.
They're
So
already
do that.
I'm pretty sure they're getting their laptops out right now. I mean, everyone here loves your work and what you do, but I always have to wonder, is there anything you would want to go back and change about AtomicRobo, looking back at what you know now?
That is a tough question, because the way that we had a bit of an advantage in that I was kind of slowly working on it in the background for almost 10 years. So I had planned out a lot of history for it and a lot of future history, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
So a lot of what we've already done is plant seeds for upcoming storylines that we're really looking forward to. So when I say I wouldn't change anything, that sounds incredibly egomaniacal, but really it's just that it's like you wouldn't change a joke halfway through it. We haven't finished, you haven't seen all the punchlines yet.
That actually makes complete sense to me, because all of the TV shows, for example, that I've fallen in love with, I find out later that the creators had 2 years to write the premiere or something along those lines. Like Battlestar Galactica, they had, a year to write the miniseries?
I don't know. I didn't watch the series.
I really have no idea why he's on the show, but you get the point. And so when you have that time to actually put something into your craft and make those steps towards the future, the end result can be really nice.
Yeah, we benefit from this immensely. In fact, it's an ongoing benefit in that I tend to write about 6 months to a year ahead of what Scott's drawing. So that gives us plenty of time to rediscover new things that we can insert into future scripts.
So outside of the role-playing game and the future stories, do I hear tell that there's a cartoon on the way?
Not a cartoon, but we do have a little indie animation. I think it worked out to be about 10 minutes long. It's sort of released on YouTube. I understand that the audio is a little messed up on it, but yeah.
How much fun was that for you to see your creation actually come to life in like a video
That
form?
was really cool.
It's like, hey, I made that.
Well, and where
Yeah.
can you give us the YouTube address or tell us what to have people search for in YouTube is probably the best.
Yeah, you would just search for AtomicRobo Last Stop.
All right.
And so what else do you have in the works?
What do we have? Oh yeah, we just finished. In fact, I was just in Austin with Scott for about a week, signing 3,000 books at a warehouse.
They like
so-
put you in the back of a van and unload you in a
They
warehouse
did.
with chain teams. You're going to sign these books.
He never saw
Yeah.
anything else of the city.
Those were the Tesladyne field guides. It's like a handbook for the company that is, that AtomicRobo runs in the comic. We did a Kickstarter to print all those and some extra, fun items. So that's finally coming along. Should be shipping out pretty soon. Beyond that, we've got Volume 9, the next AtomicRobo series that will start next week. The Volume 8 trade paperback is coming out in about a month or somewhere in there. We got the role-playing game, and I should be launching a new creator-owned series at some point within May.
Can you tell us anything about the new creator-owned series?
No, I should keep it secret for now. Sorry,
Does
guys.
it involve leprechauns?
No leprechauns. Sorry
Okay,
to say.
so at least we got some sort of, not to expect leprechauns.
There are no farting
would have been
unicorns
an
in it.
amazing
We
guess.
can come up with a whole list of things that will not be in your series until he suddenly says, well, actually,
I think it would have been a really great moment though if it had leprechauns. That would have been
leprechauns
just
are riding
amazing to
farting
be
unicorns.
part of it.
Unicorns are just farting a rainbow.
Wow. All right, so off screen, they're pointing to We Kill Monsters. Is that something you do as well?
No, but that is something that Red 5 did, and is pretty good.
Yeah, they're
gee.
pointing to it like, hey, we need to ask about We Kill Monsters.
You should get those guys on.
We should try to get those guys on. We have a talent guy that's doing that. And today he looks like George R.R. Martin, so it's kind of weird.
Yeah.
So I love AtomicRobo. I didn't even know what it was till we met you guys at a convention. My brother's obsessed with it. Everyone back here. They're all excited about this role-playing game, all these other fun things. I just want to thank you for taking the time to come be on the show with us and talk about little 5-foot robots that are, Chris-Rachael's height. Secret fact, she has a box she has to stand on when she's not wearing platform shoes.
I will murder you in your sleep, sir.
So I just love talking to you, dude. This is just pretty awesome to see the things you have coming up.
Quickly before we let him go, are there any T-shirts, merchandise, things that people can do to help support indie creators in this case that people should be buying of yours?
Not yet, but there will be soon.
Soon,
And you
like
can get-
May,
you will
when
be able to
everything
get
else
them
comes
at our
out?
website.
So on the screen is the website where you can go find out more about AtomicRobo and your free
Buy
time.
his comics, buy his role-playing game fairly soon, buy his other merch, because if you don't, how is he going to give us more?
Exactly.
He can, we'll put him in a warehouse like these people did to make him sign books.
And will
I
you
had a
remember
great
to feed
time in
him?
Austin,
No.
so go
Every
ahead and
time
do
you
that.
hijack someone and leave them in a warehouse, they die 3 months
You're
later.
the chef. You're supposed to feed them.
You have to give me the address. I don't know where to. Should I leave the food outside of every warehouse?
All right, Brian. So thanks for being on the show. We hope you had a good time.
Thank you for having me, and yes, I did.
And we would love to have you anytime you want to come on. Just let us know if you have something you want to come talk about, like future AtomicRobo. Maybe he finds AtomicRobride or something. So great deal of fun. Thanks for being on the show, dude.
Thank you.